Hey, it's Mike Kentucky Beat, and today we're going to do the Kingman show and the Spyder show. I'm going to talk a little bit about Kingman, talk a little bit about Spyders, and try to answer some of the questions. So, the first I'm going to tell you off the bat is that I've never really been that big of a fan of Kingman, okay? The reason why is Kingman does stuff, you know, they do things to their markers that'll drive you up the wall. They use a lot of what I like to call proprietary fittings, proprietary sizes, proprietary stuff, and basically it's things that the industry standard. We all use specific fittings, we all use specific sizes, we all use specific things in paintball as an industry standard. Well, Kingman doesn't do that. Okay. One of the things that was always a huge turn off about the Kingmans, and the reason why after I bought them, I had used them for years and I stopped using them, is check out, the bottom of this ASA here. Okay, and I hope you can see this. The holes are staggered on there, and they do that on purpose. So you have to buy their ASA. A traditional ASA, like what on all the rest of the paintball guns, looks like that. Okay, the holes are in line. That's one of the things that will drive you up the wall with Kingman Spyders. Something else too is the fittings. A lot of times that they use on their ASAs and on their, you can't call this a regulator, but the gas through grips and stuff like that. And, we all use, the whole world uses the standard, macro line fittings and stuff like that. A lot of times Kingman uses metric. Okay. So that's some of the things that can really lead to disaster when you're using Kingman markers. You never know until you have an issue what did they sneak in there that's going to force you into not using traditional paintball industry parts. Okay. Now I will say that that you have to break the Spyder. The Spyder or the blowback or stack tube blowback into two separate categories. You have Kingman and all the sneaky stuff that they pull, and you have, like PMI Piranha and some of the other, what some people like to call the Spyder Clones, okay? So you have to break it up into two separate categories, because Kingman does that, but like PMI and some of the other companies that make the Spyder Clones don't do that. I typically have found that Spyder Clones are better made than the Spyder guns themselves. Okay, and something else too we're going to talk about is when you're out there and you're hunting for guns. Now, most of the people that are buying Spyders are the entry-level paintball players. Okay, and what I wanted to cover today is some things that you should look for when you're out there shopping for a Spyder or Spyder Clone. Okay, in most cases these guns are bulletproof design. Okay, they work great, they last forever, very easy to maintain. You screw a CO2 tank into it and you go and you have some backyard paintball fun, or or you can, it's a good entry level first gun. You go out there, you play a couple times with it, and you're immediately going out and spending more money in it. One of the first things you want to look for when you're out there and you're shopping for a Spyder, and one of the things you want to stay far away from, is anything that has to use an elbow. Okay, elbows are a nightmare. Okay, anything that has to use an elbow, usually as I'm walking through a store, walking through a paintball store, looking at entry-level markers with friends or whatever, the minute I see something that requires the use of an elbow, I just immediately walk away. The reason why, right off the bat, these are hard to find, okay, because nobody in paintball uses these anymore. The second thing, too, is that they break. The third thing is that they don't fit traditional loaders. Okay, you can't stick a halo in here. You can't stick a velocity in here. They don't fit traditional loaders. The only thing they fit are the shake and shoot type loaders. So the minute you see an elbow on a Spyder or Spyder Clone or whatever, walk away. Most of the Spyder Clones, like the ones that are made from PMI, use a vertical feed. So you stick it on there. Look how nice that looks. You've got a nice little vertical feed. The loader sticks right on, no problem at all. With a Spyder, you can do that. Okay, with many of especially some of the older Spyders, you need to go and get an elbow and stick it on here, and then you need to take your loader and then stick it on there. Now look how tall that is. Okay, now can you imagine sticking out of the left-hand side of your bunker with this on there? Okay, paintball's a game attack. You're going to hit it and you're out. Something else too, and this is just like the kiss of death, is that contraption. Okay, and you see people stuck with this all the time. They buy a Spyder, it looks like a regular paintball gun, it looks like it'd be a good product to use. It's got a brand name recognition, and then they can't find the vertical, the stovepipe elbows anywhere because nobody uses these other than Spyder. Or they had one and they broke, and they're stuck out there with this. Okay, this is horrible. And I will share a tip really quick for the Spyder owners that do have the stovepipe, and this is what I like to call the stovepipe. It's the straight useless feed neck that you have to buy another plastic contraption to go on top of it, and then your loader goes on top of that, so you end up going to have a gun that ends up sticking up 5 feet tall. I'll share this tip with you really quick. You have one of these vertical feed like this, the stovepipe. You can take a Revy or your regular shake and shoot loader, and you can just stick it right over the top of it like that. Then what you can do is go to a hardware store like Home Depot or Wal-Mart or something like that, an auto parts store or discount auto parts, and get a hose clamp, and you can stick the hose clamp right around this and hold it in place. Okay, now that's a nice tight little package. Works pretty good. You can also put the Revies on here, and that works out pretty good also for you guys that have those, like the Spyder extras and stuff like that. Now the VS2, we'll talk a little bit about the VS2. I've used them. They shoot okay, but one thing that you've got to be really careful about Kingman is that they're very quick to whore themselves out to Walmart. Okay, what they'll do is they'll try to sell a product to the stores, and let's say, for instance, the cost on this gun, I'm just throwing a number out there, is let's say $130. Okay, so the store buys this for $130, they put it on the shelf for $170, make a $40 profit. Well, then what will happen is Kingman will be like, the stores aren't selling it fast enough. Let's just whore the whole product line out to Walmart. And that's why you see a lot of the Kingman guns in Walmart. Well, the problem is that they'll sell it to Walmart for probably half of what they sold it to the paintball store for. Okay, so they're wrecking our industry. And you guys have got to be careful about that. If a store owner pays $130 for this gun to sell it for a profit, and Kingman goes and sells them all to Walmart for $50 and Walmart puts them on the shelf for $80, well, that's a huge loss that store owner is going to have. So store owners, really be careful when you're buying Kingman products. Okay, they're Walmart whores, just like JT is. If a product line doesn't move, they're going to whore it all out to Walmart, and you're going to watch Walmart selling it for about half of what you paid for it. So you have to be very, very careful with Kingman. Okay, that's one thing that really turns me off about Kingman. Not only do they do non-industry standard fittings, but they'll sell it to the independent store owners at one price, and then they just whore their whole product line out at Walmart and basically kill the whole line. VS2, decent gun. Do I recommend it? No, not really. I think there's better guns out there for the price. Another couple bucks, and you can have yourself like an SLG, which smokes this gun. Even about the same price. I believe the Smart Parts Vibe, I like it a little bit better. Is it a bad gun? No. If you have one, it doesn't shoot bad. But just, Kingman has a tendency to kill the resale values on their guns by whoring the whole product line out to Walmart. So definitely watch that. That's about it. The Spyder shells are great, very easy to maintain, very easy to use. But I will share a tip with you really quick, okay? These are sear trippers, and one of the things that's real common with these is the striker O-ring gets nicked. Now, one of the best things you can do if you have a Spyder or a Spyder clone is that if you're going to slide all the internals out of the back of the gun, remove your grip frame. By removing your grip frame, that'll prevent that sharp metal sear from nicking that rubber O-ring as you slide all the internals out of the gun. So remove your grip frame first, slide all your internals out of the gun, lube them, clean them, whatever, then stick it back into the gun, and then reinstall your grip frame. That's going to really save your striker O-ring. You can keep the same striker O-ring for years as long as you don't nick it by having that O-ring catch over the sear. It's one of the best tips you could ever have when owning a Spyder. So when you're sliding out your internals, remove your grip frame, slide your internals out, clean it, lube it, slide your internals all the way back in again, and then put your grip frame back on there. That's going to prevent that striker from nicking that sear and slicing that O-ring and causing your gun to shoot full automatic and burp. That's about it for the Spyder shell. I mean, they're good guns. They work great for the price. But definitely watch the Kingman line, okay? Not only do they use non-industry standard fittings, but they whore the whole product line out to Walmart. If you're looking into one, take a look at like the PMI Piranhas and stuff like that. They work great. They got a vertical feed already. Stick your loader inside there, go play. And typically I found that the PMI is not only use industry standard fittings, but they're also a little bit better well built, and they work great. So that's about it for the Spyder show. Email me if you have any questions. Thanks for tuning in.